Flashback.
Hey, I'm Markia. Want to hear something scary? Feline fatale. We often take cats for granted. Small, perfect hunters that were once worshipped as gods in ancient Egypt. Many still believe that cats have supernatural powers. Cats can indeed see far beyond the mortal world, and ignoring that could cost you your life. Ever since Abby moved into her new rent-controlled place in Little Tokyo, her 12-year-old cat, Taquan, had been acting creepy and strange. Every night when she let the cat in for dinner, she would find the remains of a dead mouse or bird perfectly centered on the doormat. By the time she was able to clean it up, it was often picked over and half devoured by either her cat or some other neighborhood animal. Abby's friends told her this was common behavior for a cat, and often when they did this, they were trying to teach their owners to hunt. But what Abby thought was weird is that Taquan had never done this at any of the other places they had lived. She had always assumed her little furry companion lacked any sort of predatory drive. The final straw was when one morning she opened her door to find Taquan waiting patiently with a not-quite-dead rat. Rat blood and guts oozed out of its twitching body. Ew, disgusting, Abby thought. Abby grabbed dish gloves and a trash bag to clean up the carnage. As she approached Taquan, he began hissing at her. Hackles raised. The cat would not allow her anywhere near it. She tried to quickly grab it, but the cat raked its claws across her hand, drawing blood. There was a tense standoff, but finally, Abby gave up when she heard some other animal rustling in the bushes. Let nature take care of it, she thought to herself. As for Taquan, she had other plans. He would be an indoor cat for a while. The next day was miserable for both Abby and Taquan. The cat whined and meowed all day long, begging to go outside. Just when she thought she might finally have a moment of peace, the cat would start yowling again. As it got closer to sunset, it got much worse. Taquan began scratching the door out of desperation. Abby couldn't take it any longer. She locked the cat in the bathroom until it was dark, and then the cat quieted down. He watched, pouting from the corner until she went to bed. In the middle of the night, Abby was startled awake by loud banging. Abby regretted keeping the cat in all day. This must be Taquan's revenge. However, when she walked into the living room, she found her cat hissing at the front door. Tilting his head, he walked back and forth in front of the door in a strange, murderous dance, ready to attack at any moment. She wasn't sure whether to be scared of her cat or whatever was banging on the door. The cat's hisses and growls intensified as the banging grew louder and stronger from something trying to break the door open. Abby fumbled for her phone to call the police, but just then, the door burst open. Taquan looked at Abby and made a forceful sound and then ran outside into the night. Nothing seemed to be outside, and Abby couldn't figure out what caused the banging. She decided it was safer to close the door and stay inside. She could go and find Taquan in the morning. She took a deep breath and crept towards the open door. Suddenly, something grabbed her hair from behind and slammed her to the ground. She looked up to see a figure materializing above her. Black, soulless eyes appraised her as she was able to make out an emaciated woman with cracked and veiny white skin. The ghost drew its lips back, revealing rotting teeth as it spoke.
I am a Gaki, a very hungry ghost.
Abby was paralyzed with fear as the Gaki kneeled down beside her on the floor.
I must feast,
it said as it wrapped its hands around Abby's neck.
but I only eat the freshly dead.
The Gaki's cold, decaying hands tightened around Abby's neck. Her vision blurred as she desperately gasped for air. Dark spots began to cover her vision, growing larger and larger until everything went black. The ghost licked its lips as Abby approached the threshold of death. It reared its head back, savoring the moment of the first bite. But suddenly, a shriek interrupted the Gaki. Abby and the ghost both looked to the doorway to find a defiant Taquan standing before the biggest, fattest rat either had ever seen, perfectly centered on the doormat. The Gaki left Abby and quickly grabbed the rodent corpse, swallowing it whole. Satisfied for now, the Gaki faded away. After that, Taquan was always allowed to leave his offerings at the front door, and when the cat got too old to hunt, Abby would hunt down a creature to leave each night for the Gaki, just as she was taught.